I was thinking this is sort of Chuck Jones meets James Bond. Maybe it's Michael Bay's Thomas the Tank Engine, or it's, or you could say it's a little bit of that Transmission Impossible. Was it easy for you to sort of find the ground here, because it's such a beautiful little movie, and it's got wonderful reviews already, and I don't know whether these get easier as time goes on, or whether it's always you're always having to work right
We
up
always
to...
have to work. At Pixar, it's the story that's the most important thing. And especially in doing sequels, we want it to be original and different, than the first one. And we had so much fun making this movie, though, because it taps into so much of what we love. I love spy movies. I always have. I was born in 1957, so my childhood was kind of through the 60s. And here, The Man from U.N.C.L.E. came out. And it was the most awesome TV show, and I loved it. And the spy thing, it's part of my DNA. And I have 5 sons, and we're crazy about the 3 Bourne movies, and how it elevated that genre. And I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to do a spy movie that's not a parody of a spy movie. It's a spy movie, but it's set in the car world. And so therefore it's really fun to take all my love of cars and getting the details right there and be inspired by what's going on in the car world and bring that into the conspiracy of the spy movie.
As an artist, and always, right from the start, your main motivation has been the story, has been the art that appears up there on screen, but you have to be aware of the industry around you, and there's a part of me thinks that there might be a limited edition Lightning McQueen to put out there just saying ka-ching, because there is a huge industry around these movies. Is it difficult to sort of remove yourself from that side of it? You're going from 200 characters in the first one to about 400 here. There's a sort of a whole world waiting for you to show them what you've got, and they can start to work their magic around you. Is that hard to sort of focus in the middle? What matters to me is the story and all this.
No, not at all, because all of that would mean nothing without a great story. Simple, right? It starts with the story, it starts with great characters. And to me, the success of the merchandise and the products and the toys is that the kids want to be with these characters beyond the boundary of the film, because they like the characters so much, because of the story, because of the characters. That's why I put so much effort into making sure the story is working and the characters are really appealing and great and cool, right? Cars 2, I set out to be fun and really cool, right? It's glitzy, it's glamorous, it's a spy movie, it's this international racing scene, it's all that. It's very different than the original, because the original was about the patina of Route 66. This is the opposite, because we're taking Mater out of that patina Route 66 and taking him, and it's total fish out of water, with Lightning McQueen and him and their friendship being fractured kind of in this world. And so once we did that right, and I'm a big kid, and I love the toys, and I want the toys to be the highest quality, coolest toys. And I'd say, if we could do this right and have this cool spy world with spy planes and spy trains and boats and all this stuff, it's like I'm a little kid going, I want it all, I want to lay it out and play with it and reenact the scenes. And it's there because of the great story.
I was thinking, looking over your history, and famously early on when you worked for Disney as a young man, you did the Cal Arts for 4 years, you graduated in 79. When working for Disney was tough, and you had very strong ideas about the possibilities of digital, and I didn't like your ideas, and you were let go from there. It's a whole prodigal son sort of story for you to come around and go from this loose cannon as a young man to the Top Gun in both Disney and Pixar. I don't know if you still get a little bit of, how did this happen? How did I get from that guy who was so keen just to make a good movie and was so happy just to be there, to actually finally, running the place in a way?
I'm so excited to be back at Disney, because the films of Walt Disney and the theme parks of Walt Disney, Disneyland here in Anaheim, are kind of why I do what I do for a living, right? And it's all I've ever really wanted to do is films that really kind of evoke that which Walt kind of invented. Is those great movies that entertain adults as well as kids, that are just beautiful and that are timeless. His films are timeless. And that's, to me, sort of what everything that I've been about and at Pixar. And I got so excited about the possibility of computer animation, and it was just not, they didn't believe me at the time, and it's nice to come back, but it's like, you know, I just love being a part of Disney. You know, love Pixar being part of Disney. I love being head of the Disney animation studio because the films we're making there are totally different than Pixar. You know, yet they still evoke that wonderful Walt thing that Walt Disney started.
Rock and roll. I'll be giving the friendly finger. Very nice to talk to you, sir.
Great,
Cheers,
thank you.
man. Yeah.